When a call comes in, it signals the start of a critical investigation. A life has ended, and now the story of how and why must be pieced together. My work as a medical examiner begins at the scene. It is a place of stillness, but for a forensic expert, the environment is full of silent information. We are not just looking at a body, we are observing everything around it. The position of the deceased, the temperature of the room, any objects nearby, these are all initial clues. Our first responsibility is to approach the scene with respect and a sharp scientific mind, because the dead have a story to tell, and it is our job to listen carefully and translate it for the living. The truth is often hidden in the smallest details. This process is vital for many reasons. It provides answers to grieving families who are left with so many painful questions. It helps law enforcement determine if a crime was committed. It also serves justice, ensuring that if there was foul play, the person responsible is held accountable. My role is to be an advocate for the deceased. They can no longer speak for themselves, so the evidence I gather from their body becomes their final testimony. Every step we take, from documenting the scene to conducting the autopsy, is done with meticulous care. We are searching for objective truth, free from emotion or speculation. The science must lead the way, guiding us toward a conclusion that is based on solid, verifiable facts. The scene itself is a puzzle. We look for signs of a struggle, medications, or notes that might explain the circumstances. Was the window open? Was the heater on? These small details can significantly impact how we interpret the changes in the body later on. For example, a body found in a cold room will cool down much faster than one in a warm environment. This information is crucial for estimating the time of death. We collect evidence methodically, ensuring nothing is disturbed before it is properly documented. Every observation is a piece of a larger narrative, helping us build a timeline of the person's final moments. It is a slow, deliberate process that demands patience and precision. Ultimately, our work is about providing clarity in moments of great confusion and sorrow. Families deserve to know what happened to their loved ones. The community needs to trust that deaths are investigated thoroughly and honestly. As a forensic expert, I stand at the intersection of medicine and law. My findings can bring peace to a family or become the cornerstone of a criminal case. It is a heavy responsibility, but it is also a profound privilege. We are guardians of the truth, tasked with uncovering the secrets that death leaves behind. The investigation starts here, with the first careful steps at the scene, where the story of the end begins to unfold. Once a person dies, their body begins a predictable series of changes. It's like a clock starts ticking, and we, as forensic experts, know how to read it. One of the first things to happen is algor mortis, which simply means the coldness of death. A living body maintains a constant temperature of around 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit or 37 degrees Celsius. After death, the body's internal furnace shuts off. It starts to cool down, gradually matching the temperature of its surroundings. We measure the core body temperature, often of the liver, to help estimate how long the person has been deceased. On average, a body loses about 1.5 degrees Fahrenheit per hour, but this can change based on clothing, body fat, and the environment. Another important sign we look for is called livor mortis, or lividity. This refers to the purplish-red discoloration that appears on the skin. When the heart stops pumping, blood is no longer circulating. Gravity takes over and pulls the red blood cells down to the lowest parts of the body. If a person died lying on their back, this discoloration would appear on their back, buttocks, and the back of their legs. It usually starts to become noticeable within an hour or two and becomes fixed after about 8 to 12 hours. This means if you press on the skin, it will no longer turn white. Livor mortis tells us the position of the body after death and whether it has been moved. Then comes rigor mortis, which is probably the most well-known post-mortem change. It means the stiffness of death. After death, the muscles in the body run out of the energy they need to relax. As a result, they contract and become stiff. This process doesn't happen all at once. It usually starts in the smaller muscles of the face and jaw within 2 to 4 hours, then spreads to the neck, arms, and legs. The body reaches peak stiffness at around 12 hours. This stiffness is temporary. It begins to disappear after about 24 to 36 hours as the muscle tissues start to break down. Rigor mortis is another key indicator we use to estimate the time since death. By combining these three signs, algor, livor, and rigor mortis, we can build a reliable timeline for the first 24 to 48 hours. For instance, if we find a body that is cool to the touch, has fixed lividity on its back, and is fully stiff, we can estimate that the death occurred roughly 12 to 24 hours prior. These are not just medical curiosities. They are powerful forensic tools. They give us a window into the past, allowing us to reconstruct events with scientific accuracy. Each sign is a chapter in the body's final story, and reading them correctly is essential to our work of finding the truth. After the initial stages of rigor and livor mortis have passed, the body enters a new phase, decomposition. This is the natural process where the body's complex tissues begin to break down into simpler elements. It is driven by the body's own internal chemistry and the microorganisms that live within us. The first internal sign is autolysis, where our own enzymes, no longer controlled by the body's systems, start to digest cells from the inside out. This process is soon followed by putrefaction, which is caused by the bacteria that normally live in our digestive system. These bacteria are no longer held in check, and they begin to multiply and spread throughout the body, breaking down tissues and producing gases. This bacterial activity is what causes the visible signs of decomposition. One of the earliest signs is a greenish discoloration of the skin, usually starting on the lower abdomen. This is because of the high concentration of bacteria in the large intestine. As these microbes break down hemoglobin in the blood, they create a compound called sulfhemoglobin, which has a greenish hue. This discoloration then spreads across the rest of the body. The gases produced during putrefaction, such as methane and hydrogen sulfide, cause the body to bloat. This bloating can be quite dramatic and can distort the person's features, making visual identification more challenging. It also creates a very distinct and unpleasant odor. As decomposition progresses, other changes occur. The pressure from the internal gases can cause fluids to be purged from the body's orifices, a phenomenon known as purge fluid. The skin may also start to slip off in large sheets, a process called skin slippage. Blisters filled with reddish fluid can form on the surface of the skin. All these changes are a natural part of the body returning to the earth. The rate at which this happens depends heavily on the environment. A body in a warm, humid place will decompose much faster than one in a cold, dry location. Insects, particularly flies, also play a huge role in this process, which is a whole field of study in itself called forensic entomology. Understanding decomposition is critical for a forensic expert, especially when a body is discovered days or weeks after death. While it makes estimating the exact time of death more difficult than in the first 48 hours, the stage of decomposition still provides a general time frame. For example, the presence of bloating without significant skin slippage might suggest a person has been deceased for several days, not several weeks. By carefully observing these changes and considering environmental factors like temperature and insect activity, we can still provide valuable information to an investigation. It is a complex and often unpleasant process, but it is a fundamental part of the cycle of life and death. My work is focused on the end of life, but it has taught me so much about living. Every case I handle is a reminder that life is fragile and finite. It underscores the importance of cherishing the time we have and the people we share it with. When I investigate a death, I am not just looking at biological processes. I am piecing together the final chapter of a person's unique story. This work brings me face to face with the reality that death comes for everyone, regardless of age, wealth, or status. This perspective encourages a sense of humility and a deeper appreciation for the simple fact of being alive. It reminds us not to take our days for granted. Forensic science is, at its core, a search for truth. In a world full of opinions and conflicting stories, the evidence found on a body provides an objective account. It cannot lie or be swayed by emotion. The science speaks for the deceased, ensuring their story is told accurately. This pursuit of truth is essential for justice. It helps us distinguish between an accident, a suicide, or a homicide. By providing clear, fact-based answers, we can bring closure to grieving families and help the legal system function as it should. It is a profound responsibility to be the one who uncovers that truth, using science to give a voice to those who can no longer speak. This field also reveals the incredible resilience and complexity of the human body, even in death. The predictable clockwork of post-mortem changes is a testament to the intricate biological systems that govern our existence. From the cellular level to the entire organism, the body follows a set of natural laws. Studying what happens after death gives us a deeper understanding of what it means to be alive. It shows how interconnected everything is, how our internal bacteria, our environment, and even insects all play a role in the cycle of life. It's a powerful lesson in biology and ecology, seen through a unique and somber lens. Ultimately, being a medical examiner has taught me that while death is an end, the search for truth is a continuous journey. It has shown me the importance of compassion, precision, and integrity. Every person deserves to have their story told honestly, and it is my job to ensure that happens. This work reinforces the idea that every life has value and meaning, and even in death, a person's story can serve a purpose, to provide answers, to bring about justice, and to remind the living to appreciate the precious gift of life. Death is the final destination, but the lessons we learn from it can guide us to live more thoughtfully and gratefully.